Coach Gates in Missouri is a really good basketball team. Really good basketball team. And they're going to beat most people in this place. And they're going to be one of those teams later on, come February and March, nobody in the country is going to want to play them at all. So, our guys, anytime you go on the road, there's going to be moments in games you got to withstand. And just happened, our moment was about the first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Whatever it was, speed of the game. We got hurt in transition. I didn't realize we were down 14 or 16. 14. But in today's game, you can't panic. It's easy to panic. It's easy to separate, in particular that crowd. But our guys deserve a lot of credit. Coach Hardaway had them prepared to play. He had them ready to play. Those guys withstood that run. We pecked away and pecked away. And at halftime, when you're down 7, it's a new basketball game. I really think we kind of started back the second half. I think that was a huge key for us. If you'll know, we went back small. East had 14 points at halftime. Didn't score the second half. I thought that was a huge, huge key. Our guys, again, once they settled in, they were better defensively. We didn't give up those transition baskets we gave early. We missed a bunch of free throws the first half too. But again, you got to go on the road. You got to withstand those moments. You got to take care of the basketball. I think we end up with 16 assists, 9 turnovers. That's a huge stat against a team that really pressures. That kept them out of transition, and we didn't have a lot of those live ball turnovers. So that's always important. And I thought we had a lot of guys, just a lot of guys, you know, do a lot of good things for us. And when you go on the road again, this is always a big stat, is when you can out-rebound an opponent on their home court, that means you're being aggressive. That means you're getting a lot of stops. And I think we out-rebounded them tonight 47 to 33. And for the most part, you know, we did a pretty good job contesting three-pointers. I think they only made 6 at 22%. So overall, we made a lot of mistakes. But these kind of games are games that make you better. Now, there's a lot of coaching points from this game. And also, it gives you a lot of confidence. When you go on the road and come back being down 14 or 16, whatever it was, stay together. Easy to fragment. So there's a lot of good teaching moments in this game. So awful proud of our guys, the way they handled it. But I can promise you all this, Missouri is going to have a great basketball season. Questions?
Can you talk about Devon clearly in the second half, just what he did, the work that he did?
Well, he did what we need him to do. And you guys have watched this. You know, he's been out. He really hadn't practiced or played. He's been out about 5 weeks. He played last 2 games, 22, 25 minutes. And that's kind of been the extent of it. So his conditioning is really bad. Going on the road against pressure, you know, you're concerned about that. But we all know, you guys who have been around the SEC know Quinley's been in big moments in big games. And that's what you want a lead point guard to do. Take control of that game. And he took control of it, and we had to take control of it. And again, we had some mistakes that you got to continue to improve on and not have some of those. But early in the season, with this whole new team, after getting down, I thought Quinley did a terrific job controlling the flow of that game, that second half.
What specifically did y'all do differently in the second half defensively? You know, going from them shooting 40% to holding them to, what, 5 of 26?
The biggest thing was this. You know, they're really skilled. I thought playing smaller. You know, we didn't start Nicholas second half. So it put Mills out there, another quick guy, out there on East. Because he was the one who was hurting us. I think at halftime, he's the only guy that scored double figures, right? Gave us another quick guy right there. Versus being big with Nicholas, we weren't winning that war defensively. Offensively, you don't always win it neither because you're not as skilled. I think the skill factor offensively helped us, and defensively for sure it helped us.
Was there a singular moment where you felt the tide turn?
I felt the turn in the first half. That's when you get down 16 the first half, and you pick back to 7. It's really a new ball game. And when we come out of the locker room, it's our ball. It's a new ball game then. And we had a lot of mistakes. I felt like that we could do some things maybe a little bit better. And again, we made some shots when we had to. I thought our big guys were efficient when they needed to be efficient. Both of them, Malcolm and Brown. But big thing, you go on the road and only turn the ball over 9 times. That's a huge stat. That means we kept those live ball turnovers from happening and kept the crowd out of it. And that's always important on the road.
About you guys, I think second chance points at 12 to lose none. Is that just like an extension of the rebounding?
I think it's an extension of being aggressive. We were aggressive tonight. Again, you go on the road not rebounding but 14 rebounds. That means you're doing 2 things. You're getting a lot of stops. So there's some defensive rebounds. But that's a huge stat. That's something Coach Hardaway's been preaching, and that's the thing tonight, that we wanted to be the aggressor as much as we could. We knew they were going to pressure us some, but I really thought our skill level kept them from pressuring us a lot. I thought it allowed us to get by them and get in that lane, and that's probably a little different for sure than we did the last game. So,
What are you telling the guys to kind of go from a lot of ISO hero ball early on to, spreading the wealth there when things turn?
Well, again, it's a fine line, but there's no hero ball when you go on the road trying to win. We had a few of those moments now. There's some of those moments. Again, those guys who can ISO and do the things at the right time. Once we got that lead, that clock becomes our friend. Now, for sure, there's no time for much ISOs. Let's be efficient. And for the most part, we were okay there. We have to continue to get better. But we shared the ball, and again, there's a lineup out there when Walton and Jones and Mills and Quinlill's are pretty skilled guys. All of them can dribble, pass, and shoot a little bit. Makes it pretty tough sometimes. But I thought defensively, though, that's where the tone was set. Defensively, the second half, let's look at score. They scored 22 points the second half here at home. 22 points. We scored 44 the second half. So we were efficient at both ends. But it started at that defensive end, getting those stops. And I really think, like I said earlier, Mills starting back second half was a huge change in that game.
Last question. You, Coach, it seemed that your team kind of throughout the game started attacking the paint more and more. You finished with 38 points in the paint. Was that more of an adjustment you made as a staff, or was that the team just settling in?
No, that's what we wanted to do from the get-go. We just didn't do it. Again, they're going to press you. 2 things you want to do. You want to drive it to the paint. You want to throw it to the paint. And early, we didn't do that at all. I think it seemed like at 8-minute, 12-minute timeout, we'd had 4 paint touches. And that's just not good enough on the road. On the road, you got, especially against pressure, man, you've got to slow it down sometimes. And again, you got to get to the foul line some. Slow that energy in that building down. And we had moments where we were pretty efficient. I know the second half, there's a couple trips right in a row. We went to Brown, and he was efficient right there for us. So, we got to get better at all these little things. And we will when we get back. Like I say, Coach Hardaway will get them prepared again. He'll get them ready for the next one. But I'm awful proud of our guys to come in here, this hostile environment, get down like we did, and find a way to come back and just not win, kind of win convincingly. And you all know that's not easy in here. You guys are all Missouri folks. You haven't seen that very often. So I'm awful proud of our guys. Our guys deserve all the credit for staying together and where they played. Is that it? Everybody else? Good? Just Mike. See y'all next week, I guess, next week. Very good.
I've seen far worse than that. In the ones I've seen, they didn't actually bank. It's just that forward.
Rick Stansberry, his longtime head coach from Mississippi State, Western Kentucky.
He said very I don't know if that made bad news. Just hit the hand. Especially hey. That's it. This is such a joke to take staff. Yes, this is like that, isn't It's fine. I'm not in it. I've never used this. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Coach is going to start with an opening statement before we move any questions for all three.
Did volleyball win? Congratulations to Dawn Sullivan and her ladies. Thought they are in a crucial stretch in their schedule. and they came away with an unbelievable win, protecting home court, and congrats on their victory. As it relates to the game, I thought our crowd did an unbelievable job. They did a great job of getting here, supporting us, being in the game. I thought the energy, they were behind us completely, even during the down times when we couldn't, just quite get over the hump. And I was, impressed with that. As it relates to the game, first half, tell it two halves. Obviously, I thought we played an unreal 17 minutes. And then that middle portion of 40 minutes, the middle 8, some people call it, but that core nucleus of the game, I thought Memphis was able to win it. Ending the momentum of that first half, going into the first 4 minutes, they did a tremendous job defensively. They did a tremendous job offensively, and they were able to make some shots early. Once we got a tie at the, I want to say, 9-minute mark, we missed probably 16 straight shots, but we got, I want to say, 8 or 9 stops ourselves, and we wasn't able to capitalize on what I thought was, the advantages that we created by coming with the rebound, getting the open looks that we got. I still want these guys to shoot the shots that they took. I truly believe there may not be a shooting display like that. We went 6 for 28. That's not the stat that I want. I think and I know that our guys are better shooters than that, and they've displayed it over a long period of time since the summer. The other thing is assist-to-turnover ratio. We had 1 assist in the second half, and that goes back to those missed shots. And I thought our offense impacted our defense, and we can't allow missed shots to impact the energy that we provide within the game and the connectivity. The other thing that I saw that I was not excited about was just the discouragement when we missed easy plays, whether defensively or offensively. And I don't think our leadership was able to, and it starts with me. The leadership of our team starts with me, and I have to do a better job of getting our guys together in those moments.
Questions?
Coach, beyond just the shooting aspect, what did you make of your overall offensive process?
The offensive part, the assist-to-turnover ratio. You can't win ball games with a negative assist-to-turnover ratio. The other thing is, for the majority of the game, we didn't outshoot them from the free throw line. They still played in an aggressive style that didn't allow us to get more free throws than them. I thought we made that area up late in the game. So it starts with those two things, and points in the paint, they were able to demonstrate a way of doing that, whether it was by their guards or even their posts, and coming away with free throws or free throw attempts and or 2-point baskets.
Nick or Noah, both of you, a lot of times it's said shooting is contagious, right? When the ball's going in, it seems to go in for everybody. On a night like tonight, can missed shots start to feel contagious?
At times they can, but just from our, what we go through in practice and stuff like that, when Coach talks to us about, we just got to remain confident at all the times. Usually it's not about how you're doing when you're doing well; it's about how you react to when you're doing bad. So we got to do we need to improve a little bit in that section. But we're just going to continue to keep shooting, and they'll fall eventually for sure.
Coach, when a team kind of takes like you mentioned, take over the game from you and get back in it like they did in that middle 8 like you were talking about.
Yeah.
What's something that you guys can do to sort of turn the tide back? Obviously it didn't happen tonight, but what's something in the future that you all can do to make that happen?
Always try to, get to that free throw line. I think that's where you can neutralize any runs, and I thought we were able to do that. We just didn't execute in those moments. The other thing is the last 6 minutes of that half, we probably scored 4 or 5 points, and we got to be able to manufacture points, get the ball inside, whether by guard, drive, and or post feed. I think that's important. The other part of it is at halftime in that middle 8, we cannot have two different, same starting lineup, but we can't have two different approaches, and I thought our energy was not there, and that starts with me.
You surprised to see that happen with so many older guys on your team?
No, you make a good point, though. I understand that. But I would say this part. Both teams, this is our second game of the season, so you're trying to get into that rhythm. So I'm not surprised at the phase of the season we're in. And that's where I would look at probably a little different if it was our 10th game or last third of our season. But these guys know and understand. I think ultimately we got to do a better job, and it starts with me.
Coach, on tough shooting nights like this, what is your message to your team just to help them pick themselves up moving forward?
Shoot it. Keep shooting. Keep shooting it. That is my message. Play with confidence. You have to be able to play the game a certain way. You have to be able to play taking risk. I've seen these same shots go in consistently. So do you want to change your entire style of play? No. But do you want to be able to now read the game a little bit better? The thing that I look at is being able to convert on that free throw line. We had our best free throw shooters up there. Being able to finish in the paint. They were able to do it. We didn't do a great job of it. We did at times. The first half is completely different than the second half, and we talk about consistency. So I want us to be more consistent.
No, I think you guys actually had a rebounding edge for about the first 15, 16 minutes, and I think it ended up 47-33. What changed in that regard?
I feel like, we did miss a lot of shots, so obviously that's going to give them a lot more rebounding opportunities. But I feel like we did a decent job. We gave up, where's our their offensive rebounds? I don't know.
11.
Yeah, 11. I think we could have did a lot better job. Me personally, I missed some blockouts that I should have had. That they in the first half specifically, they hit a 3 on one of them. But just doing what we do. Got to box out, grade out, and do our job.
The one thing I would say is this: we made 5 field goals in the second half, and we made 10 free throws. That's 15 opportunities to see that ball go through the net. If you look at their stat, they had 16 made field goals with 7 made free throws. We have to make sure that if that happens, our energy, our connectivity, our overall presence cannot be impacted by that. Because ultimately what it says is we could have made that decision to recover from our mistakes faster, but we didn't. And that gave our opponent an opportunity to take advantage. And that was the tale of the game, from transition baskets to otherwise. I credit Memphis. They had an unbelievable game plan in that second half. I thought we stifled them in the first, and it was just two different teams. They wasn't the same team that they were in the first half, and we wasn't the same team that we were in the first half.
Dennis, kind of on a similar note, Coach Stansbury just said that you put a smaller lineup out there in the second half to kind of combat some of the things you were doing offensively. Just how did you see that kind of impact the flow of the game?
I thought they took care of the basketball. They were able to get into the lane. They were able to make threes on occasions, but it was sometimes second chance points. For us, I got to look at the film a little bit in more detail to figure it out. But I think they ultimately, yes, they went smaller, but they still played their guys in different spurts, and that's where you got to look at it. They didn't always go small. They probably went with a 2-guard. Caleb Mills ended up playing a lot more, and therefore they had a 2-point guard lineup, but we had the same. We just got to watch that. I got to watch the film and see where we can get better at.
Coach, tell us about Shawnee's performance. Had a really good second half, and what do you think changed for him in the second half to kind of slow it down?
Yeah, he had an outstanding. Shawnee's played an outstanding game in that first half. And I thought we were able to get him certain looks, whether it was one more pass or the extra look and spacing. I thought our spacing struggled, but the one stat that you have to look at is 1 assist and a half. You're not going to win any ball games with 1 assist and a half, whether it's the first half or the second half. You're not going to put yourself in a position. What does that mean? Our shooting percentage went down tremendously, and when you shoot the ball with 19% in the second half, that's what took place. I thought we mentally fatigued a little bit, through our mistakes, and we got to just be able to be more encouraged during those moments and get through that adversity.
Coach, 13 players on the floor. What do you make of what you were able to do rotation-wise?
Rotation-wise, I thought some guys was playing so hard that they asked to take themselves out, and that's what I encourage. What I looked at was our young guys from Ant Robinson to Jordan Butler, and then Trent Pierce. I thought those guys provided good energy. They don't know what they don't know at this phase, and but they still have to get experience, and I thought they did a good job of providing that. The one thing that I do look at is Aiden Shaw, 16 minutes, 3 rebounds, which is completely different than what he did last game, rebounding the ball. Caleb Grill, 10 rebounds from the guard spot. We can't have that. We cannot have a guard lead us in rebounds. Now, we should have had 2 guys in double-digit rebounds. I would take that any day of the week. But I think we got to get better in terms of having Noah Carter, Aiden Shaw leading us in rebounds. But, the rotation, it allowed us to do some things. And I'm excited, and I'm excited to watch the film. I want to see where we are, and I'll come away with what needs to happen next.
Anything else?
I know last year it took until the Kansas game and kind of took a kind of hit like that, but game 2, what's the kind of response you're looking for to the team going forward?
I mean, I think going forward is learning from your experiences, which is ultimately why we scheduled the way that we did. I thought putting yourself in a situation where on the positive side, right, you can come away with a home court win. On the negative side, you can lose a game. Now, is it a loss or a lesson? That's the question. Is it a loss or a lesson? We'll find out Monday. But ultimately, we'll figure out how and what we gain from this opportunity, no different than we did last season. And that's where the tests come in that, again, our fans showed up. There was a tremendous atmosphere. It displayed that in the first half. Now we'll look at the film. Either it be a loss or a lesson and figure out which one it is. And these guys know I watch film through the wee hours. I'll continue to get with the staff, and we had an excellent game plan. I don't think these guys to my left or right are excited about how they performed or how our team performed, and they take it personal. I take it personal. Our job is to regroup. Our job is to continue to get better as a program in this infant stage of a season, and also collectively getting to know each other. I thought Memphis learned a lot from this game as well that they can apply to their entire season, and that's why you have these matchups that we have. And you look across the country, you have multiple teams either on the road or having unbelievable games early on, and that just means that we're a part of it, and we'll see where it goes.
Nick and Noah, real quick, a lot of talk, and one of the phrases is player-led programs. How much of that response has to come from you guys these next couple days as opposed to, coming from the coaching staff?
I mean, obviously, just got to regroup. And I thought my leadership today could have been a lot better. Just, calling people out and calling myself out. But, yeah, we're definitely going to regroup and, just look at the film, take our time, and just get back to playing our basketball. This game doesn't define us, and I think we all know that. Just making sure people's heads are still raised high. Don't let anybody get deflated. So just letting people know what they're capable of, what they, who they are, and just regrouping and getting ready for Monday.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, MIZ.